Welcome to Path of Exile 1. This is 3.25. The Challenge League is Kalguur Settlers. Pretty much, if you're brand new, Challenge Leagues are fun to play in. There's no particular downside. There will be new mechanics and things that pop up. When the league ends, your character gets transferred back to a standard character, so you don't lose anything. And you get to keep all your goodies. So I'm going to go for Settlers, and got to pick a character class.
Why do the keen of mind seek to
I'm going
satiate their
for
curiosity
a
in darkness
Arc
and depravity?
Witch. I have a little guide
Innocence is our father.
on how I'm going to build
Arieth
this.
is our mother.
And
when a daughter strays from the light, she makes
need a
herself an orphan.
So far, so much like Path of Exile 2. I'll leave the tutorials on.
The very sand shivers with malice. There's a power here that welcomes me.
Talk to our Exile.
You and I, we're the only ones that made it to shore.
Ah!
The dead
Okay.
will soon rise for me, not against me.
So just left clicking gave me my first attack, but it's pretty weak. Now I have a new attack that came from that skill gem, which I've now slotted. Let's see. You can right click and move it from the slot. And these two are linked together. So if I place something in the bottom slot, it's going to affect this first item. So that's where you put support items to make this more powerful. Oh! Looks a little different. These are my flasks to keep me alive. They correspond to numbers on the keyboard. Top right corner is the map. If you hit M on, that brings up the shop. You can bring up a map that's an overlay. I'll just leave that off so it doesn't get too confusing. But now I have a skill, and it's chewing through mana. I'm also getting hit by those horrible little spiky crabs.
I need more mana.
So, your base attack from the wand doesn't cost anything, so it's handy if you run out of mana. These guys just are awful. So, just like POE 2, you start picking up items. There we go. Arcane Surge support. It's the first support item. Plug it in there, and now I will get a surge of power as I start using the spell. So the more mana I spend, I will then get Arcane Surge. Top left corner is where that's running, and it's helping me with regeneration. But I'm going to use a flask because it's just slow. I started a brand new character. I started a brand new league. I don't have access to any of my other stuff. One thing is, as you play, you'll eventually gain character stuff. You'll find stuff sitting on the ground. And as you do, it'll be easier and easier to start alternate characters. Okay, the dots are important. This has two dots. It's a red and a blue, so there's a red and a blue slot. This also has two dots, red and a blue slot. Those are the colors of items you can slot in there. So these gems have different colors. Those two were not linked, so pretty much this is vendor trash. But I might save one in case I start another character. Then I'll have an iron hat for when they make it through the first area. And just like PoE 2, there's, the starter area. There's nothing too surprising here. Lots of critters to kill. There tends to be a handful of treasure that you'll pick up along the way, because coming up here there will be a big ugly dude to fight. Now, you notice I'm not dodge rolling. Well, that's something that came up for the new game. Sometimes you just gotta run. It is helpful to kill everything in here. Just you want to try and at least gain one level.
And
just
I
like
thought
that.
I'd be a dead woman by now.
The skill tree is just like the new game. I've looked up a guide, and so I have an idea of how to plan this out, but you can go down the spell damage route, you can go down the energy and mana route. We're going to do that. We'll apply points up here at the top. There we go, our first point. And you can see now I have an energy shield, which is going to be hugely useful. I'll need that for survivability. So the witch is an intelligence-based character. You want loads and loads of int, and you want to boost your energy shield. It's great if you can get life. Those are always helpful, but the energy shield is what will soak up most of your early damage. So as you're looking at different gear, you look and see which one boosts your energy shield. Okay, now plate vest is armor. This is the first area. I do not care. There's no benefit to being picky about equipment. Other folks will just run through this because they've played this a million times. And, they already have a stash, or they just love to get through this quickly. But as for me, kill them all. I want the points. And you'll notice on the far left, the red circle, bottom left corner, I didn't take a lot of health, excuse me, on there. But the, let's see, let's turn that off. There we go. I didn't take a lot of damage because my shield soaked it up. Oh, here we go, Mr. Hillock. Now Hillock is very much a great big monster dude. I've now hit him for half of his health. He goes to a second phase where he draws a sword out of himself. You have to refill your mana as you can. And unlike, so it's less dynamic than the new game. You don't dodge roll, but you run, stay out of his melee attack range, because he will wreck you. And you'll notice it's a much easier boss than the first one. I'm picking up every single thing. A glass shank is useless to me, but I will sell it and get some funds out of it. This is your first zone village. Just like Clearfall Encampment, it's where you go to have your stash and buy things and start getting equipment for the game. and quests. And you see them in yellow.
I saw what you did to Hillock out there, Witch. Your black art is the reason you're here, in exile. It may also be the only thing that allows you to see another dawn. Lion Eye's watch isn't much, but it's ours. We could use you here, while you live.
Aha! Medicine
Should you wish
chest.
to venture out.
So this one has all three, but they aren't linked. So it's not that useful to me. Actually, I take that back. I will show you something. Identified items sell for more than not. So we'll identify it, throw that in here. Except, come to think of it, I'm going to keep that too. And I got a reason. Okay. Currency is in fragments of scrolls of wisdom in here. It's
Take care.
you don't really have money, which is kind of neat. Now I've got loads and loads of stash space because I've played the game a bunch. This one, 25, 25, they're identical. It's great. If I start a second character, now I've got some equipment for them. So I just do this. And what I just remembered was, oh, you know what? Check that out. I can now do twin twin bolts of Zappy.
A wayfish, waterlogged witch, washed up in raid claws. That's the first line of the poem I'm writing about you, Exile. There's an island, a hop, skip and a wade offshore of the terraces. That's where my merry gull ran
Oh,
aground.
get the medicine chest.
Watched the locals spit roast the ship's doctor, but his medicine.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to talk to him. This guy down here is part of the new expansion, so I'm going to leave him alone for
Fine work with Hillock.
the
Where'd
first
you
little
learn to
thing.
fight like that? No, forget I asked.
Okay,
We exiles have no history.
now we get our first spell. And so we need to go look and see what options there are. And all of them are a little different. So I've already got Fireball, which is kind of slow and frustrating. Zombies are fun. Zombies, you can just raise them and they'll run around and be your little attacking bros. I usually do that because it just cracks me up. Lightning Tendrils launches little sparks on the ground. Rolling Magma is good. Freezing Pulse is excellent because it just slams things. I'm going to go with Raise Zombie because I want to be able to raise zombies. Okay. Purchasing gear is less important in here. You can spend a lot of money and get very little else. But notice, again, the currency is all kind of made up. It's neat. Scrolls of Wisdom are what you spend to get stuff. And so when Orb of Transformation, so all those little things that drop
Stay
are
sharp out there.
currency in the game.
I know that stench. Just like my sisters upon the pyre.
Okay. So I've got 3 new zombie bros. Their textures are still loading in. There we go. And this is where the game made its mark. I'm kicking stuff down, killing people, and gear is starting to drop, and that is the biggest change between two. Yeah, I'll level up Fireball and Arcane Surge. Leveling an item is just like PoE 2. In this case, you build up experience using it, So sometimes you'll slot a gem you don't care about, and you, so that's new in this league, to get actual gold. You slot the gem, you gain experience with it, and as a result, you'll have it gain levels for use later. The higher the level, the more stats it needs to work, and the more powerful, of course, it becomes. So in this case, use it or lose it, or use it or don't, is the idea, rather than waiting for gems and stuff to drop. And you purchase gems from vendors. So I'm not locked in to my zombies, although we're going to have a grand old time. But the way to get more skill gems is to go and kill more things. An iron ring is really nice. It gives you a bonus to physical attack. You notice my zombies are gone. That's okay. Easy. Summon more. This is why I almost always travel with zombies. I'm a weak character, and it's highly entertaining to run around with zombie bros. I do tend to explore most of the map because it's valuable to get equipment. Since I play solo, there's a trade system in here. You can meet up with other people and send goods and stuff around. In a game like this, where a brand new league, most of the time you're just running around doing it yourself because nobody's had any time to collect anything yet. But as the league goes on, then you start going, there's equipment that I want, and it's easier to just find somebody to trade for it. The unique items are typically where you do a lot of trading. They're hard to find, they don't drop very often, and they're hugely helpful. People build entire characters around them. In this case, that's not us. Ooh, look at that. Now, unlike PoE 2, I'm always on. So I'm going to stop here for a second. So we got armor greaves. Okay, we got that. Ah, so the chain belt gave us a bonus to our energy shield. So that was a big help. I'm going to trade this out. A linked hat is usually better than not. More slots are better than not. And you can do alternate weapon sets, but again, I'm a caster. My weapons are shooting pew-pew missiles and spells. And the tower shields are handy for defense. That is something that I could do, is instead of somebody talking to me is usually not a great idea. Oh. Toasted. So that was no good. I'm looking for places I've already been because I need to summon new zombies. Zombies require that you kill enemies before you can summon them. So that wasn't a very good showing, but that's kind of the game. I don't ever play hardcore because this happens way too often. You look at something, you miscalculate, and within a microsecond you get toasted. There it is. My strategy here is to keep summoning zombies, so he's got something to... My strategy here is to die horribly. Got our zombie crew again. Pretty close. Almost got him. Alrighty. Well, he was a treasure.
Khan's canoe struck this sand with the force of destiny. At his beck, the greatest war host in Kalguur history tamed the wilds.
And he will, allow you to, take a couple bites at the apple, so to speak. So we were able to whittle him down. Most bosses are like that. So it's often a really good deal to
Too much clutter.
set up a town portal right before a boss area, and then you yeah, that doesn't look like I can fit it in. Yeah, again, the critical difference here, Path of Exile 2, you have automatic pausing. And I love that. Oh, my first better currency. And hooray, we've got a waypoint. This is critical. So there's the mud flats. Here's another place we're going to go there in just a second. But waypoints are critical because now we can warp back to town. Without those, we need a town portal scroll. I don't think I've had any drop yet. They're another thing that just shows up while you're out exploring. All the vendors are identical for what they will, sell stuff for. Having looked at this, I don't think I'll worry about any alts. So this has evasion and energy shield, which is probably a better idea. Rusted sword. Armor and evasion, those are both good. Okay, so notice all this added up to very little. So a lot of the game really is running amok. Turning in equipment and coming back. But boom, big old energy shield. Red doesn't work as well for me. I want blues. That's where most of my spells are. I'm missing gloves and an amulet. Those will come later. We'll sell these both off.
Goodbye.
Thank you. I've got a stash that picks up money, so it vanished into that. So I don't have anything interesting so far, and that's one of the drawbacks of a new league.
Hello.
So let's buy items. If we go here, now you can see all the stuff that we could buy. Rolling magma is kind of fun. So down at the bottom, one scroll of wisdom. Yeah, we're gonna go up against some bigger dudes. So that'll be plenty. That's stuff to do. Actually, I like rolling magma better. Okay. So you notice this has down at the bottom 157 out of 308 for experience. So if I don't have it slotted, it can't gain experience. So that is a drawback when you start getting extra items. And I've forgotten where I go to. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to turn this into Freezing Pulse. And this will summon zombies. I don't have any equipment here that'll help.
Hello.
She generally is magic.
Greetings.
Let's see what he's got. So 33 and 11, 17, which is certainly better, and it's linked. So that's immediately a better piece of gear. But I don't have any gloves yet. And this is the best you can hope for, is 3 all linked. This one is special, and I will definitely purchase this, and then I'm going to sell it right back to him, and I'll show you why. Just double checking some of the other stuff. Yeah, so this is already, much better equipment. That's okay. Most of my equipment is going to be horrible for a long time, but all 3 colors linked. When you sell it back, you get a chromatic orb. So these are part of vendor recipes.
Stay sharp out there.
They're kind of hidden. And there's guides on different things you can sell to get those. Alright, we got zombies, we got some new spells, and we're headed now to go get the medicine chest to finish up our first quest. So right away I'm burning loads of whatever you call it, loads of mana, because now I'm very excited. I got new spells. I did total creep, and this is the fun of these designs. Okay, so 11 energy shield, 17 energy shield, and 1 is linked. We'll immediately move that. Zombie, fireball, freezing pulse. So gear is very important in PoE 1. It is in 2, but a lot of times you're hunting and hoping that you'll get equipment that has
Calm has removed the eternal stain from this coast.
links that you
The
want. And
Empire's
so much of the game
citizens
is just running around trying to find 3s and 4s and eventually a 6 linked item, and they're rare. You can spend a lot of time grinding for this stuff. There's a new wand. My poor little zombies are doing well. It's okay. They're cheap. And in here, I'm looking for a guy that's going to be guarding the stuff over. And having picked up all this junk, I'm probably going to have to ditch some of it. I'm not going to bother with the shield. So, right away, I have the enviable problem of, what am I going to do with all this junk on the ground? That is the POE experience. There's my first portal scroll. Perfect. There he is. Hail around. There we go.
Too much
So,
clutter.
already too much junk. I want the medicine chest because that's the item I got. Simple robe is... none of this stuff sells for very much. Portal scrolls, so that could take me right back to town. I'm just trying to fill up my inventory as best I can. Yes, thank you, I know. One more wand, and that's... I don't think there's any difference between the two as far as price goes. So, we've got our junk. I want experience, and then we're headed back to town. And the quick and easy way is, of course, use that town scroll, but I'm not under any time pressure. There's people that run this game, and they are tremendously fast. Huh. So this is new to me, and I assume it has to do with the League. Yep.
I need more mana.
I'm playing like a piano player. I've got my fingers are dancing as I try to see what do I need. I spend a lot of time managing my flasks, and that's another thing that is very common in this game. Yellows are always good compared to whatever junk I had. And you can see here, now I don't have to update anything, but I'm going to because it helps me along, and I'm a caster, so that I typically always have the
Too
the
much clutter.
stats to work with this stuff. Fill your boots with soup. Anyway, you get the idea. More and more stuff is going to drop. More waves of enemies are going to come out and attack us. The game is all about endless loot. In fact, you pretty much need to get a filter to help deal with it. And that's okay. It helps to minimize, stuff that isn't for your class, stuff that is too low level. And it can highlight different things in different colors, play little noises when currency drops, stuff like that.
I'd almost stopped believing in miracles. This medicine chest. It's greater than the serums themselves.
And the one type of flask I don't have is a quicksilver for movement speed. So typically that's the first time you get that. Chance to poison, summon phantasm. Phantasms are really nice. Oh, and so I'm hovering over it. Elemental proliferation. It increases your ailments. You can spread to other people, so if you freeze somebody, it can spread to other folks. And then at the bottom, it now immediately shows you which skills it applies to. So this is very helpful information. Didn't used to do that. None of these apply. Nope. Poison is great, but now you see, I would need a gear that has a green slot and a blue slot. I had one of those in a helmet early and then threw it away because it just wasn't very good. But this is where you start having combinations of equipment where you sometimes need other slot colors. And how do you get them? You can re-roll them, but it's a dice roll as to what you get. Phantasms are just fantastic. I love having more things to fight for me, so I'll take that.
While we live, we are blessed. What little... Yes?
You get the idea of evasion is not my main stat. Energy shield is. If you hold control, you can control click to... Whoops. I want to identify stuff. One of each. No, Driftwood Wand with 12 and 2 link. That's better than that. 8. So evasion is better, so I'll keep that. And so you see there's one scroll and 2 shards. This immediately has alteration. It's a different currency because it's a just much more valuable item. This I can't even use until level 5, so we'll throw that away. And what do we have? 6 energy shield and 9 armor. And you gain mana for killing enemies, so that could be handy. Anyway, this is what PoE is like. You get lots and lots of loot, tons of loot. You have to figure out what to do with this. In the base game, spending 0 money, you get a little handful of these tabs. I think 4 tabs or something. Where they make their money is they have a transaction shop and they have sales every so often where you can spend it on extra tabs and all the kinds of pretty items and what are they calling clothing and special effects and other stuff, cosmetics. Anyway, that's what it looks like to start a brand new league, play through the first quest zone, and build a couple items. Very much, this is how, this is the base game. What happens later is you spend more time getting better equipment, you start getting much more powerful things. People that play a ton of this, they tend to just leave junk on the ground. They only pick up blues or better, and sometimes they skip those. Some people run through the base game like you wouldn't believe. They're very fast, and in just a few hours they're finished. I am not one of those. I've never been able to get through this that quickly because I like to read it and mosey at my own pace. Anyway, this character we have to level up a little bit further until we're able to get the next higher level of gem, and I'm curious if we're there yet. Nope. So Stormblast might be kind of fun. But yeah, what I'm looking for is the arc. Purifying Flame is also really good. So a lot of these, the early part of your build is just pick whatever. Pick something that you enjoy playing. As you progress, you'll find that there's different options. There's different spells that work better, and there's guides. The guides are invaluable, but still, it's just a game. Nobody's going to yell at you if you don't do something in an optimal way. So if I click here, there's no POE police, although don't ever look on a forum. But yeah, spell damage is hugely helpful. It makes me hit harder. Intelligence starts boosting up my mana and stuff, but having more energy shield would have given me a lot more survivability. And so the build I have comes up this path over to here and then starts coming back this way up to mana and life, because we do need more life nodes. The character is extremely squishy forever. That's a caster. But thank you for watching. I hope it gives you a rough idea. Like I said, I've played a bunch. I just have a bunch of junk that's... Oh, yeah, this... I don't think it's... Oh yeah, so these tabs are all empty because I'm in a new league. But I've got tabs that hold different gems and other things, which can be really, really helpful. And that's been, I think, money well spent by... I've played this for a number of years, and they don't ask for much. It's been a way to support the developers. All right. Thank you, and give it a try. There's no cost. And the next area is you start getting bigger masses of monsters, and that's where, as you start picking up a more focused build, you can really start to send out waves of devastation. It'd be really, really entertaining. Good night.